Let's not sugarcoat this. A young woman's attention can be intoxicating. It makes you feel seen again, wanted, alive. But behind that rush, there's danger. Because when you start changing your pace, your plans, your posture, just to keep her interested, you've already started losing not her. You, the version of you that was grounded, clear, and in control. And that's what she was drawn to in the first place. So, if you want to stop sabotaging yourself without realizing it, you need to understand the rules of this dynamic. Here are 5 things you must never do with a younger woman, unless you're ready to lose both her and your own reflection. Some men call it love, others call it self-sabotage in disguise. So, let me ask you, when an older man starts bending for a younger woman, is it wisdom to adapt or weakness to chase? Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button if you want more content that cuts through the noise. And tell me in the comments, when you see an older man over-investing in a younger woman, do you see confidence or desperation? Your answers matter. They spark real conversations, and they reveal how different men interpret the same emotional game. Now, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will challenge what you thought was normal behavior and expose how it's quietly costing you everything. Number 1. Don't overcompensate with money or gifts. The biggest mistake older men make with younger women is believing they can buy attraction. They throw money at her, shower her with gifts, pay for every little thing, and think that will make her stay. But what really happens? She starts seeing you not as a man, not as a source of passion, but as an ATM with emotions. And once you let her categorize you that way, it's almost impossible to escape that role. A young woman doesn't respect what comes too easily, and when you try to compensate for age with money, you confirm the insecurity you were trying to hide. You show her that you don't think you're enough as you are. The psychology is simple. If she gets used to you giving without her earning, she stops valuing it. Humans are wired to treasure what they must fight for. That's why the man who holds back and makes her invest emotionally becomes magnetic, while the man who overgives becomes invisible the moment his resources dry up. Women may enjoy luxury, but they don't fall in love with luxury. They fall in love with the man who makes them feel something. And no gift, no dinner, no vacation can replace the spark of genuine desire. What many men fail to see is that money is neutral. It can amplify attraction if the foundation is already strong, but it cannot create attraction out of nothing. If she wants you, she'll enjoy what you bring into her life. But if she doesn't want you, no amount of gifts will flip that switch. In fact, it often backfires, because she begins to see you as predictable, desperate, and replaceable. She knows she doesn't have to do anything to keep you, and once she knows that, she stops trying altogether. Attraction dies not in the absence of giving, but in the absence of challenge. And if you keep giving without her investing back, you're training her to see you as a provider, not a partner. Number 2. Don't try to act younger than you are. One of the fastest ways an older man loses respect from a younger woman is by pretending to be something he's not. The moment you start mimicking the behavior, language, or lifestyle of someone her age, you stop being the man she was curious about and start looking like an imposter. A younger woman doesn't seek out an older man because she wants another boy in her life. She seeks him out because she expects maturity, stability, presence, and a depth of confidence that men her age rarely possess. When you throw all of that away just to appear relatable, you destroy the very thing that made you different in the first place. The psychology behind attraction is built on polarity. She already has access to men her age. She already knows what it's like to date someone who is still figuring out his identity, chasing trends, and competing with his peers. If you step into that same frame, she places you in the same category as them. But when you own your maturity, when you stand firm in your years of experience, your control over your emotions, your calm energy in the middle of chaos. She feels the gap between you and the boys she's used to. That gap is where her attraction begins to grow. Trying to act young also signals insecurity. It tells her you don't believe your age is an asset. You see it as a weakness you have to cover up. But confidence in who you are is irresistible. A man who doesn't apologize for his years, who doesn't try to compete with the youth around him, commands respect because he's anchored in himself. That kind of presence makes her lean in. That kind of certainty makes her listen. And that kind of energy reminds her that you're not like the men she can find everywhere else. You're operating on a level she can only experience by being around you. Number 3. Don't give away all your power. The foundation of attraction between an older man and a younger woman is built on strength, not submission. Too many older men make the mistake of surrendering their frame the moment they feel lucky to have her attention. They let her dictate the pace, the mood, and the direction of the relationship because deep down they fear losing her. That fear becomes obvious in every decision they make, and once she senses it, she knows she has complete control. The problem with that is simple. Women don't respect what they can control. They respect what they cannot. The moment you let her set the frame, you stop being the man she looked up to and start becoming another follower in her orbit. You have to understand that a younger woman will always test boundaries. She will push to see where you stand, she will question to see if you fold, and she will create emotional waves just to see if you can stay grounded. If you collapse under that pressure, you confirm her suspicion that you are not as solid as you appear. Attraction fades because the very thing that drew her to you, your stability and certainty, was just a mask. But when you hold your ground, when you stay calm in the face of her tests, when you make it clear that you live by your standards and won't bend simply because she's beautiful, she feels a mix of respect and desire that she can't find with men her age. Power in this dynamic doesn't come from control over her. It comes from control over yourself. It's the ability to walk away if she disrespects your values. The ability to say no when most men would beg to say yes. And the ability to maintain direction without asking for permission. That's what separates an older man from the boys in her world. She doesn't want another man she can bend to her will. She wants a man strong enough to hold his own, no matter how much she pushes. When you give away your power, you give away the magnetism that made her curious about you in the first place. Number 4. Don't ignore the value of experience. What sets an older man apart from the younger men she's surrounded by isn't just age, it's the weight of experience. Too often, older men overlook this and try to compete on the same playing field as youth, style, energy, endless availability, when in reality, the true advantage lies in what life has already taught them. Experience is what gives you perspective, patience, and the ability to read situations without panic or insecurity. That's the edge you bring into her world, and when you ignore it, you strip away the very quality that made her curious about you in the first place. Younger men usually operate on impulse. They react emotionally, they chase without thinking, and they often lack a clear sense of direction. An older man who embraces his experience is different. He doesn't rush. He doesn't over-explain. He carries himself with the quiet confidence of someone who's seen enough of life to know what really matters. That presence alone creates an energy she feels, but can't quite explain. It's calming, grounding, and at the same time magnetic, because it contrasts everything she's used to. Experience also brings leadership. It means you don't follow trends blindly or get lost in temporary drama. You set the tone, you decide the pace, and you create a frame that she steps into. A young woman doesn't truly want another peer competing with her on her level. She wants someone who elevates her, someone who shows her a way of living and thinking she hasn't yet discovered. When you show her that depth, you separate yourself from every other option she has, because no boy her age can offer it. Ignoring your experience not only weakens your position, It makes you forget the unique value you bring. You're not supposed to try and be like the men she already knows. You're supposed to remind her why you're nothing like them. When you own your lessons, your wisdom, and your clarity, you become the kind of man she looks up to rather than just another man she looks at. Number 5. Don't chase. Make her invest. The easiest way to lose the respect and interest of a younger woman is to fall into the trap of endless chasing. Many older men, fearing that their age is a disadvantage, believe they must prove themselves by putting in more effort, giving more attention, and constantly showing pursuit. But the psychology of attraction doesn't work that way. The more you chase, the more you signal to her that she holds all the value, while you are simply trying to earn a place in her life. That imbalance kills desire because women don't fall in love with men they can easily control. They fall in love with men who make them earn their presence. When you stop chasing and start creating opportunities for her to invest, everything shifts. Investment can be as simple as her reaching out first, initiating plans, or contributing her time and energy into the connection. Each time she invests, her attachment grows because people value what they work for. If she never has to put in effort, she doesn't feel the need to protect the bond, and she can walk away without hesitation. But if she's spent time, energy, and emotions on you, she unconsciously begins to see you as more important in her life. Chasing also exposes insecurity. It tells her you don't believe she would choose you naturally, so you're trying to win her over with persistence. That's the mindset of a boy, not a man. A man who understands his worth doesn't need to run after anyone. He allows space for her to step forward, and in doing so, he creates a dynamic where she feels the thrill of pursuit. Young women are used to being chased by men who see them as prizes. The man who flips the script and makes her prove herself stands out in a way she can't ignore. The real secret isn't to do more, it's to do less with higher value. Every time you hold back from overgiving, every time you let her come to you, every time you show that you're willing to walk away rather than beg for attention, you create a tension that makes her work harder to secure her place in your life.